We are a room of the luckiest people alive. We share nothing in common with the girls in our program. The girls in our program have been kicked out of school because they could not pay their school fees. They have been children during war, where they have seen their family and parents killed. They have had to care for relatives, often their mom and dad with AIDS, 24 hours a day, only to watch them die. Some of our students have been quarantined in homes where a family member has Ebola, praying they do not contract Ebola themselves. 4 years ago, I realized that I wanted to make a difference, that I wanted to make a difference to what we see on the news, to what we read about in the newspapers, about the injustices that are a way of life, poverty that exists on a scale that we cannot fathom, the horrors that are endured that are unimaginable. We are the lucky ones. We have a future. Women in many parts of the world don't, simply because they were born into a country where being a woman means they are not valued. I am so grateful to be a woman in Canada, and I am reminded of that on a daily basis. We have opportunities, rights, and a life, like many of you, I often take for granted. What I'm working to do is to give these simple things to people in the world that don't have them. I started Beautiful World because I have 3 young sons, and I wanted to teach them that one committed person can tackle a big problem and achieve change. I want them to know that we are all responsible for making the world a better place. The 13 to 18-year-olds in our program live in dire poverty. Some have been raped, beaten, some are pregnant, and some have young babies to care for. They live in the poorest countries where families like theirs survive on $1.25 per day. Many of our students have lost one or both of their parents. They have been killed, died from AIDS, or have abandoned them. There are many kids in their communities, or some kids in their communities, that have a pair of shoes, a single pencil, and a uniform. We select the girls that don't. Girls in our program have begged to pay for their school fees, and when they can no longer afford to raise the money, they are forced to drop out. Their options once they drop out of school are to become a servant, a field laborer, a prostitute, or marry any man that is willing to take care of them, regardless of how he treats her, how much older he is, and in some of our countries, how many other wives he has. These girls, many as young as 13, become pregnant, having many babies they cannot afford to care for, and the cycle of poverty continues. Attending school is their only chance to break free of a life of poverty, violence, and hardship. Their only chance to have an opportunity to have a life like mine, with a career they love, healthy and happy children, a spouse that loves them, and money for food and medicine. Beautiful World and our partners on the ground are committed to helping these girls. Education will transform their lives. I'm going to talk about the girls in our program in Sierra Leone. We saw things change there just so fast. Before Ebola, our girls were attending school. They were going to girls' clubs on the weekends. They were attending computer classes, and they were studying for their final exams. These girls were our star students. On average, they had increased their marks by 10%, and we were so delighted to be getting ready to send many of them to university on scholarships. They would be the first in their families, and likely the first in their entire villages to ever go beyond secondary school. And then things changed so fast. We knew from Toronto that it would be very difficult to help with the situation in Ebola, but knew that we would find a way. Lindsay told you about our program that we used in Sierra Leone, but I want to tell you about the lessons we learned from Ebola. Life can change on a dime. Things can go from normal to unrecognizable and scary so quickly. Diseases are vicious killers. Nurses, doctors, healthy adults, and babies die despite great efforts to help them and save them. Food, water, and medicine become the most sacred items that people will risk anything to acquire. But in the face of crisis, heroes emerge, and we've seen them. They put themselves in personal danger. They reach even the hardest to reach people. They bring hope, and they remind those that are suffering that life will get better. We receive a lot of letters from our students, and I really enjoy the letters and I enjoy sharing them. And this evening I've decided to share some letters from our students in Sierra Leone. When Charles and his team were when they were delivering the packages to the girls, he asked them to write a letter to share what life is like with Ebola. The first letter that I'm going to share is written by a student named Blessing. Blessing is in her final year of high school. She had studied for her exams and is waiting to apply to university. She writes, "It all started on May 25th, 2014, when we heard the Ebola virus had entered Sierra Leone via Calhoun, which borders Liberia, and since that time, everything has changed. In July, the government instituted a public health alert, causing schools to close. The ambulance sirens trouble me a lot. I keep remembering those that are sick and those that have lost loved ones. It is such a horrible sight, seeing neighbors, babies, children, and parents dying. I hope and pray that one day our nation will be free from Ebola and we will start to attend school again." The second letter is from a student named Kaidatu. Kaidatu is also a senior high school student in Sierra Leone, and she writes, "Since May, there has been a rapid increase in the prices of goods and services. Our local currency is constantly devaluing, and there are no exports. There have been many restrictions imposed upon us. I should have taken the BECE examination, but because of Ebola, I could not take the exam. We cannot go to school. We should not even visit our friends. Ebola has caused a lot of problems for the girls. Some of my friends have been given to be married. Some are pregnant. Some are prostituting themselves. The girls are the most vulnerable in this kind of crisis. May God help us by bringing a speedy end to this disease." Young women like Blessing and Kaidatu deserve an opportunity for a brighter future, and they need our help more than ever to have that. These girls and women in our program are dedicated, seeking their dreams. They have persevered despite the greatest odds. They work hard. We see them work so hard, and they make good choices focused on creating a better world for themselves, their families, and for some of our students, their children. Success for a Beautiful World is finding girls like these, finding girls that have no other way to go to school, and if given the tools, the opportunity, they will do everything that they can do to be successful. They have hope, and they believe with help they can make their dreams come true. Tonight's funds raised will be supporting scholarships for some of Sierra Leone's most needy students, those that have lost their parents to Ebola. When the schools reopen, and they will, we will be there to support those that have lost everything they know, love, and care about to Ebola. Beautiful World will ensure they stay in school. We will ensure that they get the chance for the opportunities that we take for granted. We will ensure they have a future. 100% of the donations this evening will be going directly to support our students. My Family Foundation covers all of Beautiful World's administrative costs. For those of you that are considering making a gift, I encourage you to make a monthly donation to our students. To support their ongoing education journey, which can be as long as 6 years. For $100 per month, you can fully support one of our girls with everything that she needs to be successful. 4 years ago, I made a decision. I decided that I wanted to do something real and something tangible. And with your help, I can continue to do that, and I can help more girls. On your table, you will find donation cards, pens, and envelopes. Please fill in a card and donate any amount you wish. Our volunteers will be by after dessert to pick them up. I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. Your support means everything to us and to our students. Together, we will help to make a beautiful world for them. Thank you.